Waiting for the seasons is going to have you starve to death. So there's a story of a man and his family. And the man and his family were on a farm. Life was good. Crops were coming in. They had trade. They were trading, swapping out, going down to the local market, barter and trade in. Crops he was growing were good. They were eating okay. Season started to change and got a little lazy. He said, you know what? I'm going to, our family's good. We're good. We're just going to keep eating what we got. We got surplus. We got jars and cans and we're good. And decided I'm going to wait to plant seeds for the next harvest. Knowing good and damn well they should have started at the end of the season, giving the ground and soil enough time to, mature the seeds and basically help the seeds grow for the next season. He's like, I'm just gonna hold off. It's a little cold out there. Starts raining. I'm just gonna hold off for a little bit. I'm just gonna wait. Still got food, but he's watching those rations go down and down and down. Like, ooh, okay. Just gonna wait a little longer. Wife and kids are like, husband, dad, we're running out of cabbage. I want some cabbage. We're good. I'm gonna wait to go ahead and plant these seeds. So, but the wife's like, isn't it a little late? Shouldn't you have done that already? Shouldn't we kind of get this going? Husband's like, I got it. I'm just gonna wait. Eventually the wife was like, all right, I'm gonna trust you. They wait. Next season comes around because they're used to not necessarily abundance, but they're used to having enough to get through. Look at the cupboard, it's a little low. Dad, we don't have much food left. Honey, we don't have much food left. Yeah, well, okay, let me go ahead and plant these seeds now. Now he's watching other neighbors' crops start to come up. They start to blossom. Food's coming through. They're out there and he's just sitting there staring at his empty field. Like, okay, well, you know what? We're just gonna have to do with what we got now. And we'll have to wait until the next season. And, well, we're gonna starve, Daddy. What are we gonna do? So now, the father and mother have to go figure out what to do. Because they didn't plant the seeds that they needed to plant for the next harvest. And since they didn't do that, now their entire family is impacted from one man's indecision and woman's indecision. Now the family's going to starve if they don't do something. Now they're in a frenzy, running around asking if they can help on the other neighbors' farms to just get enough money to go down to the market just to buy some food, because they have all this opportunity. They have this acres of harvest, but they haven't planted the seeds because they waited, knowing it takes a season in order for the harvest to come to fruition. Well, they let the goodness that they had spoil them. It didn't take action. Because it didn't take action, now his family is almost starving because he kept waiting. Then it came to the point where he's like, all right, well, I got a couple bucks working on these other farms. We still got our land lease. At least we have land. We're just gonna have to wait again to the right time next year to plant. So we just got to get through this time here. And then they get comfortable living how they are. And he forgets again. And this becomes a cycle to the point where he loses the land. And his family is extremely upset with him. Now, what does this have to do with anything? This is exactly what is happening and has happened with real estate agents. When it was easy, during COVID, everybody got their license. Everybody knew somebody. Rates were low. Everybody's running to buy a house. Before I was an agent, we've been doing this marketing for new construction before I was an agent. So I'd seen the results. But when we got into the market, It's exactly how it was. We lost out on like 4 or 5 bids. We're about to buy new construction. We found a house we could buy and renovate. But now rates have doubled, almost tripled. They're coming back down. Agents were spoiled back then because they really didn't have to put any work. They didn't have to do anything hard. They didn't have to do prospecting as much. They didn't have to do the cold calls. They just walk in a Walmart or a Target or go to school and like, oh yeah, me and Tommy were talking about buying a house. Sure, I can help you. Now, even the top producers are not producing how they were back then. A lot of agents have fallen off. And the reason being, in these times, and this is the latest podcast, we talked about this, the fundamentals are key. Agents have been waiting. I have talked to, and throughout this week, I'll give you several stories of when this has happened. But one of the prime excuses, because this is all that it is, and it's based, it's psychology behind this. There's fear, there's anxiety, there's something deep rooted behind this. But waiting for something, and I'm not talking about just working with us, I'm talking in general. If you're waiting to do something you need to do, and you are self-sabotaging yourself, number one. If you know, you get that feeling in your gut, it's like God's telling you, like everything lines up, and you're like, nah, I don't want to do it this way. I want to go this way. You are being the devil, for lack of a better term, because you're going against what you know good and darn well you should be doing. And what happens with that? Friction. If you're moving in the right path, things should flow. It should not be friction. When you feel that friction, it's because you're getting in the way. And what I've seen with I've had agents come back 2-3 years later like, yeah, I was waiting, just like that farmer, and they finally got in there like, man, I wish I did this sooner. Or they got in at the very last minute, and they're like, okay, I need to market now. I'm gonna understand this new construction stuff. And it's not a silver bullet. It's not gonna snap your fingers and happen right away. You will never, nor have you ever heard us say that. Good shit takes time. One of my mentors told me that. Good shit takes time. So in order for you to get moving with any type of marketing, there's no marketing that anybody can give you or teach you that'll get an instant result, an instant closing, a guaranteed closing every time. Because if there were, it wouldn't be shared, or you would pay 6 figures for the solution. Now, all marketing can get you wins, sales, but it takes work. Just like you don't just get your license and all of a sudden, hey, I sold all these homes. There's 200 homes over there. I sold. No, it's not going to happen. You have to put the work in, but you have to plant the seed at first. The first seed is taking action on whatever it is you're waiting on. So if you continue to wait, and if you're still listening to me, regardless of whether you want to sell new construction, luxury new construction, or you're doing some other program, or you're just sitting around waiting for just like your clients, think about this. If you've been in the industry for more than 4 years, and you have clients that have been waiting, and you keep sending them properties, and they keep saying, no, we're going to wait for the rates to go down. We're going to wait till the market to crash. It hasn't happened. They lost out on how many opportunities. You are doing that exact same thing by not taking action and waiting. Waiting is the death of many businesses. And you cannot, just like the farmer, you cannot stop sowing and planting those seeds and keep waiting and expect to eat down the line. You've got to plant the seeds now. The first seed is taking action on whatever it is you're waiting on. If you don't take action, because it takes time. So let's say it takes, and I'm going to do a numbers breakdown so this makes sense for all my analytical people. But let's say it takes, for instance, working with us, the average $300 a month ad spend, starting off at $300 a month, usually takes 3.5 to 6 months. It's gone longer because the market's changed. Depends on the area. Sometimes it's sooner, but 3.5 to 6 months. So if let's say 6 months times 3, 6 and 3 is what, 24. So that's $2,400 they have to invest in ad spend over 6 months before they get the first sale. Now, if you're an agent, it's like, oh my God, $2,400, I don't have $2,400. Go get a part-time job, because here's what happens with that $2,400. $2,400 in, let's say, we'll do a $500,000 homes you're looking at, you're promoting, you're selling, or you want to sell because you put your price point. 2,400 in, 15,000 out. You tell me where you can put in $2,400 and get 15,000 out repeatedly. Only through marketing and in real estate marketing. So, but that 2,400 would scare people. Like, oh my goodness. But remember what I said, you have to wait 6 months for that to happen. So if I wait 6 months to actually take action and start marketing, and then I have another 6 months, that's an entire year. You have pushed out what you said you wanted and your success. Now if you start now in 6 months you see it, and the minute you see that quick win, okay, now you boost up that confidence, you have certainty, like, oh, I can do this. Oh man, now it makes sense. And then the rest is history. Then it's just a matter of rinse and repeat. Because once you know that number, that's your input-output number. When you're marketing, once you know your input-output number, as long as you understand marketing, you're doing it properly, and you know your ROI, how quickly can you spend that $2,400? If it's a month, expect that sale to come out every single month over the course of averaging out a year. You might have 0 sales in 1 month and 0 sales another and 3 in the other. But average it out, numbers still amaze me how that works. So, agents, stop starving yourself. Stop waiting, whatever waiting means to you. Do the thing that you need to do, because if you don't, your field will be barren. You will starve. Or you will just let your ego get the best of you and shame or doubt and be like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go get a job and I can go make $100,000. I'm just going to go do that. Because that's the easier part. Until you get into that job and realize, I hate these mofos. These people are idiots. I could be making $500,000 or $1 million plus selling real estate if I had just stopped waiting and did the work. But now I got to sit here in this job that I hate. And if that's your thing, that's your thing. If you want that, you want that. But it is avoidable. We're watching so many people that come back and regret the fact they didn't get in sooner. They didn't take action sooner. Stop waiting. Find out the root cause of your wait. Stop waiting. And if you've been listening to me for any period of time, you've been on any of our 5-day challenges. If you've been on our 5-day challenges, and you've been around for a while. Any of our master classes we do on Wednesdays, any of our podcasts, you know unequivocally that we know what the hell we're talking about. And we have receipts. So we can help you attract new construction, luxury new construction buyers. October 23rd through 25th, 40 stories above downtown Tampa Bay, we have our next, the Q4 Iconic Agent New Construction Marketing Mastery Intensive. This is where 15 lucky agents will be an exclusive social club, completely relaxed, and they will set up their own and understand their own new construction marketing campaigns with a happy hour afterwards. When I say intensive, it's just like going to real estate school. We're going to teach you everything we know to get wins selling new construction, luxury new construction. Our process is impossible not to work. It works better in some areas than others, but it's impossible not to work if you work the process. So we invite you to join us. Comment on this post or DM me directly. We'll send over details. We got a couple spots left. We do have a $1,000 off early bird special that we are offering until I think it's next week. So if you're on the fence or you've been sitting around waiting, let me ask you the question, and I ask this all the time. How much has waiting cost you in general, in life? How much has waiting cost you? Could you not be in a much better place, even if you're in a great place now? If you're complacent, that's a whole separate talk. Complacency and taking action. But even if you're in a good place, are you in a great place? If you're in a crappy place, why aren't you in a good place? I can tell you a lot of it has to do with waiting and not taking action. And it's very easy to make excuses as to, oh, well, yeah, we are the same 24 hours. You can either make excuses or you can make decisions to obliterate those excuses and just go. I didn't say it's gonna be easy, but it's simple. So reach out to us if you're interested in attracting new construction, luxury new construction. If you can't travel or you don't want to travel, you're a do-it-yourselfer, we've got options for you. If you go to theIconicAgent.com/playbook, we give you your entire playbook. Everything you need to know, all the tools, resources, we show you how to use them. We tell you it's not